according to the NBA's last 2-minute report, which said traveling should have been called on his 4-point play late in the fourth quarter. I know Stephen A. is very happy about that one. So, Stephen A., I'm going to start with you on this one. Do you think that the 2-minute report does more harm than good?
I think it's a waste of time. I don't like it one bit because what you going to do about it? All you're doing is saying to folks, we're willing to admit our mistakes. Well, congratulations. I'm so touched. I mean, bless their heart that they're willing to acknowledge that, we missed this call or we missed that call or, this mistake was made or whatever, but we're not going to do a damn thing about it. I mean, bless their wonderful hearts. What does it really amount to? And the thing about it is this. Yes, he traveled and all of that stuff, but I'm not sweating that. The fact of the matter is my Knicks mugged Maxey at the end of game 2, and they got away with that. So this is what comes with the territory. I'm not tripping. Bottom line is Mitchell Robinson shouldn't have jumped his silly self in the air and fouled him on a 3-point play that gave him a 4-point play. I mean, that's really the situation in what it is. But having said all of that, I think here's the most important thing to point out. The sports gaming industry has had a profound effect on the world of professional sports, particularly the NBA, when it comes to officiating. Because since the additional money has been infused into the sport, we all know what that's about. You want to make sure you dot I's and cross T's. We don't want another Tim Donaghy situation. We don't want anything like that. You want to make sure we're on the up and up, that we have leaned heavily towards transparency and what have you. That is admirable. There's nothing wrong with that thinking. The problem is in implementing and instituting this 2-minute report and all the stuff that comes with it. Ultimately in our society, if you're telling us the problem, that's fine. Where the hell is the solution? If we work at a job, one of the things I pride myself in every day, and that's why I can butt heads at times with bosses and all of this other stuff. You know why? Because damn it, I'm about solutions. Ain't about just coming to you with a problem. I got solutions to those problems. And so if I'm coming to you with a solution, I'm trying to resolve something. I'm not just trying to whine and moan. And so to me, the 2-minute report is about whining and moaning. It's not about solutions, Tim. It's not about solutions, Andraya. That's my issue. My issue is not the report itself. It's that once you reach its conclusion, what the hell are you going to do about it? And if you don't have a resolution in place to offset the mistakes and the mea culpas and the mishaps that ultimately occur, well, what good is it? All you're doing is trying to show us that you're the paragons of virtue, willing to admit your faux pas. Who gives a damn? If you don't have a solution, you got to have a solution. And that's not what we're seeing in the 2-minute report. And that's my issue, Andraya and Tim.
Stephen A., you're completely right. I've hated it from the day that I heard they were going to start doing this because I knew what this was going to lead to. You're talking about pointing out, first of all, you're going to end up pointing out things that nobody even saw in the first place, like the Tyrese Maxey dragging his pivot foot 2 inches. No one even picked up on that in the first place, so now all you're doing is making people aware of other stuff that the officials missed. And by the way, in this situation, I know, and I'm glad you're taking this approach, Stephen A., because I know there can't be a Knicks fan out there that's going to complain about them missing the Tyrese Maxey travel with what happened in Game 2. At the end of Game 2 with Tyrese Maxey getting fouled and not getting that call. So this is what it leads to. All it does is enrage fan bases even more because you're seeing it. There's no remedy to it. To me, it's almost like you go on Jeopardy, you miss the final answer, you go home, and the next day the producers call you and say, you know what, actually, you probably got that question right. We should have given that to you. And you go, well, where's my money? I don't get to keep playing? That's the problem. There's no remedy. All you're doing is pointing out things that actually make fan bases think, wow, wait a second, there were 4 calls missed in the last 2 minutes? I thought there was only 1. Now you start to think that it really is some sort of bias going on with the officiating if the 2-minute warning tends to lean heavily in one direction. That's the problem with it all. I'm perfectly fine with just play on, man. You get the short end of the stick some nights. Some nights they get it right. Some nights it benefits your team. Some nights it doesn't. We move on. We get on to the next game, and you assume over the course of a series or a season, it all evens out. That one team isn't consistently getting this treatment by the officials where they end up on the wrong end of these calls. It evens out in the end. Let's move on. The coaches need to know. I think that the league saw it. The players can know privately. I don't think this needs to be something for public dissemination. That's just my opinion.
I could not agree more. I understand the 2-minute report. Send it to the coaches so they have an understanding. Send it to the coaches so they can keep a track record of what referees are officiating their games, and they can see if there's a track record of bias or if they have some grievances with the way games are called in relation to certain referees. That's fine. Let the coaches keep it. Let the coaches keep it to give their players a better understanding of when to do this and when not to do this, because players call for reviews all the time. The point of the 2-minute report is to help people understand the game. Fans are not using it in that way. I guarantee fans aren't watching the next game and saying, oh, that's a correct no call because Brunson initiated contact as he's dribbling down the floor because that's what happened in the last game. Fans aren't doing that. Fans don't need it. They're going to be upset about calls no matter what. The officials, for the most part, get it right, send the report to the coaches so that the coaches and players can maybe understand a little bit more of what's going on in the referee's mind, and that's it. Fans don't need it.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,